we're past the first volume range. We should be getting the first volume of Zipman soon and seeing how it does. I'm hoping the series does well. I'm hoping it doesn't get axed. I enjoy it. I think that the concept and the layout for a lot of the powers and what the way that these characters work, the fact that their suits and stuff are always going to be, some tell not only about like, oh yeah, his powers and whatnot, but it's always going to have something to do with their personality because we know their exosuits are. It's like a life they long for. They're from these RPG kind of guys. That this is like this fantasy life that they always, really, really like wanted in there, but the full depths of their being, which I can understand because like I understand it as well. I would love to live in a fantasy. I am very much heavily a lover of like magic and fantasy series, but I don't know if I want to be this psychotic bad guy in a robot suit pretending to be some magical character to go torture innocent civilians. But I have Zipman, who's gone up to this next level because there's 4 floors of this I'm just gonna call it a raid. It's just pretty much a raid, and now he's gonna be fighting this next bad guy who, at first it's like, oh, well, this little mouse dude, what's his thing gonna be? But he's like orchestrating all these other characters. He's more of like a manipulator. Got all these like pseudo suits that all these characters in, and he's got like collars on him, and he's saying essentially that you hit him with enough force and the collars are going to go off and they're going to explode and kill these people. It's definitely a messed up person. So with the other characters, like I figured this guy was going to be a little bit weird because as we saw, like he looked a little nervous and frightened, and like I said, like any of their kind of like traits are really going to come out when it comes to suits because they're living in this idealistic way that they want, this fantasy that they want for them to be at. And you see this kind of nervous guy who's, now he's faced with this potential obstacle. He's unsure of what to do. He's kind of like a little bit shivery, but he wants presenting like the main character with these like 2 both dark choices. Does he want to rescue this girl but kill people in the process, or does he want to not kill them and lose chance of this girl? And like I really like this panel because, well, not only does this one look really cool, but it shows about the guy because, like, yeah, you're a messed up dude. You come off as like, oh, this little awkward weird guy, but obviously, like, deep in your heart, you want to like see people suffer. You want to create like pain. You just want to be this bad dude. You absolutely like. It's like when you see like the whole like stories in the media. Oh, the quiet kid in class. It ends up being like a killer or somebody that was just like always awkward. Was something up. That's what this character comes off at. That from a long time that there's something wrong with this person. But now it looks like utilizing the skill that they took from the chick on the last floor, having this like 3D printing power. You have Zipman just creating like these big lances and just throwing them, just projectile chucking them at this dude, and ends up ripping the zipper off of him. And he's like, your zipper, though, I don't even want to deal with what you got. I don't even want it part of my crew. I don't even want it part of my setup. You're done. You're scum. I don't want to have you or anything about you in any way related to me. So there was one part I really like. There's, when you have like just a really cool visual effect and like a really cool way to like draw it out. That's like the most recent one besides this was in the latest Black Clover episode. When you had Yami's attack spelled out, and I think it was kanji. I don't know the difference. But it was written out in Japanese, and then you had like the character dripping down, and that was the slash that he was doing for his dimension / equinox. But here we have the letter that this. I'm guessing it's the whole bam that's next to it, but you have Zipman throw one of the lances, and it goes through it like it tore through part of this character, obviously, that isn't there physically in their world, but it's there for us as the readers, which I just think is a really neat little visual way to do this. Really cool, like, setup in the chapter itself. I do like this author's way of panel setup and like page layout. Like, it was anytime he goes into the Zipman suit, it has like the zippers in between the panels. Like instead of it just being boxes, it looks like all these panels instead are all zipped together, which I think is just a really neat visual like layout for it. It's just a really cool, unique style that I could really see more of these authors getting behind. I'm hoping they do. I've seen it in a couple comics, but at least off the top of my head, that's the only one I've seen for a manga, which I really liked. I'm sure there are others that have done it, but that's the one that, just off the top of my head, I can deduce down in well. But it was a pretty short read chapter because this guy, he wasn't a big deal. He was just this kind of like little throwaway guy. The 3D printer girl was just for him to get this new skill, which I like. I like that him having this ability to get all these cool weapons, just 3D printed out with all these cool like new zipper powers. And then you have this more dinosaur guy near the end, and he's like saying how he's found out the weakness of this character. And I'm wondering if it's going to be more of like an emotional weakness, or if he's going to like to do like some form of weakness. The Zipman. Like I said, it was a really fast read. Like it was mostly just like setup of how he was going to run through this little cat mouse dude, which, I think little cat guy, not a mouse actually. But just beating this guy really quick. This guy who says he found out his weakness, I'm guessing is going to probably get like a 2-chapter bout. And then the main bad guy will probably be the real actual fight. Up until a point, I just imagine it'd be more scuffles. Because that one's going to need to be a big one, because obviously when it comes to especially, Shonen Jump, you have to get a good hook for the readers within the first like around 16 to 20 chapters for the series to keep going. Otherwise, it'll get that unfortunate axe. I don't know how well Zipman is doing. Obviously, the first volume isn't available, but I'm hoping when the first volume does come on sale, that it at least does well enough to not get canceled, that we can get further in this. One of those ones that I feel like with time, the author will really lay out a lot more interesting stuff than we're just going to get in the beginning. Because the beginning, there's so much of the similar kind of layout with a lot of series. You're finding out the powers, you're finding out the characters, and you're finding out the base plot. You aren't getting into the more complicated stuff and a lot of like the more heavy stuff that the author really wants to lay out. But other than that, comment below. Thumbs up the video, befriend the like button, subscribing. So I'm starting right there. So befriend the like button, subscribe button, and comment on this video. Check out my other videos. If you and like I said, thumbs up the video, friend the like button, subscribe button. I'm doing a terrible job of routing this one off just because I lost the momentum of it. But other than that, I appreciate everyone who's already subscribed. Thank you all for listening.